All right, guys, Gina with Sidewalk Talk, and today I'm with the Comet with a
What's
3.
up?
How come you're so connected with the number 3?
Oh, good question. I actually have a tattoo right here.
Yeah,
333.
yeah.
I don't know if you can see it.
What's with the 3?
Yeah, so it's something that just, it hasn't been with me my whole entire life, but when I became an adult, I went through a period, especially being a teenager, I was a very emo child.
Yeah.
I had maybe a little bit more of a negative outlook than I do on life back then than I do today.
Yeah.
And when I started to change that and be more positive and connect to spirituality, the number 333 kept popping up everywhere. 3 is just special to me because I see it everywhere and it's kind of like a guiding thing for me. It's also a reminder when I see 333 on buildings or in times to just stop for a second and say like, I love you, universe. I'm so grateful. Thank you. But yeah, it's just kind of been something that guides me, but spiritually, I think there's 3s in everything. So if you dive deep into that, there's just like symbology everywhere.
What do you remember the first moment where when you started connecting the number 3 to this positive energy?
It wasn't maybe necessarily one singular moment, but it was definitely a time in my life and an era in my life where I was like fresh as an adult, figuring shit out and just like so lost and disconnected, and then I just started going inward and I started becoming more positive and just like appreciating what I did have, and that just kept unfolding and unfolding. And at that time 333 kept popping up, so just I stuck to it.
Do you remember doing a sidewalk interview 5 years ago?
I
with
do.
Lauren?
Yeah.
Dude, so I was watching that just, to kind of like do my research and whatnot. And the first impression that I had of you is how positive you are.
Ah, thanks. Yeah, it's
You're
something
so
that I worked on,
positive.
but now it just comes naturally.
Yeah, and
Thanks.
I love that because I never had, like for me, for instance, like I didn't have a positive outlook on life until I moved to LA.
Oh, I love
And
that.
I'm 30 now, so that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's so hard to get there.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated watching you and just seeing how positive you are.
Thank you.
You know? Yeah. What's the craziest thing you experienced in LA?
Are you kidding me? I have multiple. Oh my God. Okay, so two involving crimes.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh
we're
my
gonna start it
God.
off like that. So the first one, back in the day, this period where I was like evolving and all this stuff, and I was fresh to being an adult. I lived in Hollywood and I didn't have a car at the time, so I walked everywhere.
You walked everywhere.
I did, and took the subway. Yeah.
The subway in LA.
Yeah, I did a lot of walking, man.
The subway in LA.
Oh,
I've never taken
yeah.
it.
It's don't. It's not
Okay.
cool. It's not like New York. Anyway, so I was walking up Vine to Sunset. Sunset and Vine is a very popular known spot out here. Very busy, middle of the day. And I hear this gunshot, but I didn't know what a gunshot it sounded like because I never heard one before. I just heard like a boom go by me, and this lady comes running out. And also, people are always shooting movies, so you never know what's actually happening. This lady comes running out of the store and is like, get down, someone's shooting. And I was just like, what the? And I just like hop behind a car, and he shoots again, and then you hear like a bunch of shots go off, and that was all the cops that were like waiting for him to shoot off again, and he died. Yeah, I didn't have to see that because I was ducked behind a car, but yeah, it was pretty freaking scary. I was in like a shootout, kind of. I had to have been like 19,
Can
18,
you
19
imagine,
at the
like,
time.
that's like one of your first experiences after moving to LA from Florida?
Well, technically, I'd been here for like 4 years. I moved when I was 14. So I've spent like half my life in Florida, half my life out here. But still, I mean, I was fresh to being an adult, and I was just like walking down the street, and then pew, pew, pew. You're like, ah!
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, so.
Oh, so you get it.
Yeah, I grew up in the hood, so.
Yeah, you get it.
I kind of get it, yeah.
Yeah. You have an awareness, though, when you walk down the street, when you live in a big city like this. You're like,
yeah.
fuck with me, but you seem scared.
That's why I don't really like to. I'm a homebody, so I'm
Me
always
too.
home.
Such a hermit.
Yeah, and my roommates all the time, they're just like, Gina, you don't do anything. You don't do any. You just stay home. I'm like, it's so comfortable.
It's so comfortable. It's so safe in here. I got the dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That honestly, the dogs is the reason why.
Yeah. You're like, humans kind of suck. Why would I go out there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got cats, so I get it.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be snuggling my cats with a facial on, watching a movie.
Yeah. Being a dog mom, cat mom is so much better.
I agree.
Life
The
is
fur
so much
babies
better.
are the best.
Yeah.
They just bring so much joy.
What do you want to be remembered for?
Oh,
Do you remember this question?
I do remember this question. I do not remember what I said, which is great because now you get a new answer.
Yeah.
Remembered for. I think I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I think that if you asked people closest to me, they would say like my positivity, like my outlook on life, and
Aww.
I really just want the people who love me, that I loved back, to always remember me. That's that, you know? Whatever else anybody else wants to remember, that's out of my control. Remember me for whatever you want. But
In 2018, you brought up how the most important thing was how your kids would look back on you.
aww, that's cute.
And you went into like detail about it, but like, what's your outlook on kids?
Oh, that outlook has changed. I've always thought since I was little, like I've always thought about keeping this young mindset, remembering what it was like, because so many adults were disconnected to us and we'd be like, you just don't get it, you don't remember. So I always tried to hold on to that and think about the stuff I wanted to pass on to my kids, and now I'm kind of like, I like my fur babies. I don't know that I need like a human baby. Yeah, I really just think I want to spend the rest of my life being selfish. Like, not in a negative way, but just like living for me. So we'll see.
So you don't see yourself, having.
I don't know anymore. I don't know. It also, the thing is too, is that it always depends on the person that you choose. So that time could come up where I want to change my mind, but it's definitely about the person.
I see.
Yeah.
This is the coffee shop. So
Yay!
we're gonna take a quick coffee break.
Coffee! We need more coffee.
After the first question, we're gonna straight to coffee.
Love it. Welcome back. We've got coffee.
We got coffee. Okay. So this is my favorite question.
Yay!
What is your ultimate comfort food?
Oh, that's a damn good question because I love food. Okay. I'm vegan, y'all, so I love, and I've always loved breakfast since I was a kid. It was my favorite meal of the day. So I make this mad vegan sandwich. Even better with croissant when you can find a vegan croissant to put on it, but otherwise you can do it with the English muffin, just egg, hash brown or sausage, and then I make this delicious sauce with it. Oh.
Have you always been vegan?
For a while now, like 7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah, it went by just like that.
How's that transition?
The thing is it went by like that. Like it's maybe like hard at first in your head. Like I remember I went vegan right before Thanksgiving. And like growing up every year with the Thanksgiving, even though I wanted to be vegan, like it's like a habit thing. You're used to it. It's a smell. I don't know. And it was pretty easy for me. I just made the decision and kept going forward.
Why did you make that decision?
Every reason. Health, the planet, animals. Oh, animals.
Yes, the animals.
Yeah.
I always tried to go on that. It's just, I can't. It's so hard for me. Especially being Korean, that's all we eat.
I actually follow, and I bought her cookbook because I love her so much. There is this Korean vegan TikTok, Instagram, where she does like a story time about like her childhood while she shows you how to cook like Korean classics vegan. And it's just, the combination between the recipes and the stories, I just love that. Yeah.
Oh.
I also have a vegan restaurant actually out here in LA. It's called Plant Based as Fuck. PBAF.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You have a vegan restaurant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I created it with a company out here called Honeybee Burger, and it's just supposed to be like late night food with an edge for young people that are vegan. You're out partying and you're looking on Postmates and it's just all McDonald's or whatever. We got you. Vegan.
I had no idea. Yeah. That's amazing.
Thanks.
What was that? Okay, so music producer, actress, model, business entrepreneur, restaurant owner. What?
Yeah.
What made you want to do that?
It was
what was the process like to open? Because I'm in that process.
Oh,
of like
yeah, that's right. You do food.
Yeah.
The guy that I created and started PBAF with already had vegan companies, so he knows the shits. You know what I mean? I'm just out here like, I'm just getting into food and I love it so much, and I'll create the recipes and do all the other stuff. But yeah, he's the one who really is the backbone behind the.
I want to try this place now.
Yes, and we're actually creating more recipes next week, which I'm so excited about because we finally got all these different new ingredients. So we're just going to be like going wild in the kitchen, like children, just being like, what if we mix this with this and this? And yeah, I can't eat that day because I'm going to be stuffed on testing everything.
When you switch to vegan, what are like body changes wise? Like what are like the most noticeable things? Was it pretty noticeable?
You know what actually is interesting? So everybody talks about going vegan and they're like, oh yeah, you feel so light and you feel so different.
Yeah.
You don't quite notice it like that because every day your body is adjusting. So you're building up like this routine to it. You don't notice it. Then you start to introduce bad stuff into your diet again and boom, you automatically see, oh, this hurts. Oh, this is this. And then you're like, oh, wow, that's what it's doing to me. I didn't realize. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What do you do outside of everything that you do?
So mainly I am a hermit like yourself. Love to sit at home. I make music all day. I play with my animals and I'm very crafty actually. I love building things.
Yeah, with your hands?
Yeah, so I'll go through periods where I don't build anything and then I'm like, get the itch and I'm like, okay, I need to make something right now. And so made everything from furniture to cat houses to props to sets to, yeah, I love it.
Wow. When you're saying you're working on music all day,
yeah,
how long do you usually work on music?
It depends. I'm trying to get myself into a routine where I take breaks periodically throughout the day because you just get into these zones, which is great. You don't want to like break the creativity, but you'll just go for hours and not really realize that the time is going by because you've gotten into a flow. But then your eyes are sensitive. Like I'll go downstairs and people try to talk to me and my brain cannot communicate with humans. It's been in like headphone fucking problem solving and people are like talking to me and I'm like, like a robot. So I tried now to like take periodic times, go outside, get some sunshine, go look at the animals, come back.
You know how there's like two different producers? There's like the daytime ones,
there's
like the night ones where they just start at 10
They're
p.m.
crazy. I'm the daytime one. I'm an early bird.
Yeah, how do people do the night? Well, it's because they have less distractions and stuff. That's the common answer.
So that is what they say, but those same people haven't woken up early enough because there is a time in the morning hours where nobody's awake, especially in LA. Everybody wakes up so late here.
Yeah, 11.
Nobody's out. Nobody's blowing up your phone. That's all lies. You can do it in the morning.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've also heard that brains are different. You know, like some people, their creativity wakes up at night. And for me, I have like this fresh creative energy right when I wake up. Like, don't even need coffee, just like, yeah!
Wow.
I still drink coffee because I love it.
Yeah. What's your most watched movie?
Ooh, I love that. So I would say it's something from back in the day that I grew up watching, you know? White Chicks, The Hot Chicks, Scary Movie. Which one?
I just watched all of those.
Yes!
They just like came out on like Amazon Prime and like Netflix, like all at the same time. So I was like, whoa, classics.
Throwback.
Just finished White Chicks, Hot Chicks, like all the ones with Ben Stiller.
Oh,
all those classics. Dodgeball.
Oh,
Anchorman.
Dodgeball, yes. Oh
all
my
the
God.
Classics.
Literally.
Classic comedies, you know?
Oh, I love them. It's my go-to. If there's not something new and intriguing that I'm like, ooh, that's gonna be mind-bending or sick or creative or whatever, then I'm like, all right, let's go back with the classic comedy.
So you like comedies? You don't
I do. I mean, I like across the board.
Harry Potters or that Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I love that. I wasn't technically like a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Like I love it and I love its aesthetic, but I fell asleep as a child in those movies. I'm notorious for falling asleep in movies, so I can't be like, oh, I'm like the biggest fan. But I like it.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, I have this answer. So, think about it. If you could get as big as you want or as small as you want, that would be the best superpower because people be chasing you. All of a sudden, you become small and you just hide behind a rock or something, you know, away from where they're running.
Okay, so you want to
or
be
you're
Ant-Man.
big. Oh, fuck, that's so. Well, actually, he hot, so.
He is.
He is hot.
Did you see the most recent one too? I mean, he definitely
haven't
like
seen
older,
it.
but damn.
No, Paul Rudd forever. Paul Rudd.
My God. That's another guy. I was just like,
He's just like that dorky sexy that you're just like, you're so
Like,
lovable.
yeah. Exactly. You're not wrong. That's very accurate.
Okay, so I want to be Ant-Man, okay?
Yeah.
It's not the most popular,
Ant-Man.
but
Oh,
it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Most people say teleportation.
Which is cool, and
Yeah,
I hate
but
I
I
hate the airport.
I like how different your answer was.
Thank you. And I hope you know that has been my answer since I was a child, because I really thought about it and I was like, if you had to get away from bad guys, big and small, you're kicking ass, you know?
What's your go-to song?
Oh, that changes all the time.
Really? There's not like, you know how like people have like a breakup song? Or like,
That's true, but I think, so when people ask me what's my favorite anything, I don't technically have an answer because it's always kind of changing. And I do listen to a lot of music that I listened to like growing up that brings me back to nostalgia, but it's always changing. And I'm on this bad bitch era, gon' fuck you up kind of shit. So Ashniko, Poppy, there's another artist that's like Poppy called Baby. She's so fucking fire, coming up right now. Love her. Oh. So yeah. I'm just always listening to like angry girl music.
What's your biggest fear?
Well, I'm not gonna give the real answer to that because that's just straight realistic and scary. Biggest fear could be being maybe set on fire. Like, could you imagine being trapped in a fire? Like, that would be so fucking scary.
Okay, so you went into this question saying, oh, I'm not gonna say the realistic one because that's scary, like really sad.
All right, I'm
scary.
afraid of being kidnapped, okay?
And then you said, and then you immediately go and say
To something else.
being set on fire.
What? It'd be terrifying.
I mean, that's a fear for sure.
Yeah,
but that's
it's also kind of realistic.
yeah, like and scary.
Very scary. What else do people say? I mean, you said biggest fear.
I mean, yeah, biggest fear. But like then I was like thinking of something, you know, like not being set on fire when I'm being set in the scene where it's like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
it's realistic and scary. So I'm gonna say something else.
My dad used to say, which is so funny because he was quite an intimidating man, and he used to say zombies. Zombies specifically coming out of a lake. That was my dad's biggest fear. What?
Zombies?
Sir! And he doesn't even know about COVID, okay? So it's more realistic now. Like, I just started watching The Last of Us.
The Last of
That's
Us.
scary.
That's-
That's realistic and that's scary.
It is scary, and it's kind of like, okay, I don't know if that someone made this up, but apparently there's like this fungus thing in San Diego.
Oh,
that's
oh.
forming.
Oh.
Like this fungus
Stop
thing.
it.
That's like that's like spreading or whatever. I didn't read too much into
don't
it
like
because I thought it was
Like hoopla?
fake news.
Yeah, fake
But-
news. But it might not be.
what if it isn't?
Literally anything is possible after COVID. You know, like we were all just like, nothing bad's gonna happen to us. And we're like, oh crap.
Yeah. So how
The
was
whole world
COVID
shut
for
down?
you?
What'd
What'd you do?
Up and down and sideways. At first it was really fun. I would say for everybody, the first month was like, woohoo!
Yeah,
We ain't gotta go nowhere. And also just being scared of an invisible thing, which was a new fear. You're just
Yeah.
like, where is it? It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually it got really tired of it. Like, I know some people really enjoyed their COVID and want to go back, but for me, I love going out. Even though I'm a hermit, I love playing shows. I love seeing people, even though I hate most people. I do like seeing people though, you know, and COVID just took all of that away. And I just felt like for the first time, like very social anxiety-esque. Like, I never dealt with that before. So that was like a culture shock, but it also made me grow in so many ways,
Yeah.
you know?
What did you do during COVID? Poop. Don't step in it.
Oh, actually, we went through a period where, so we had moved in a year before COVID, but you know, it takes
like your family?
Oh, me and my sister. We lived
okay.
together. Got attacked by a vine. So it takes a while to move into a house and to decorate and get your bearings in it. And because we were always traveling, me for shows, her for movies, then nobody was there to actually decorate it. Now we're stuck home inside all these white walls and no furniture. And we're like, all right. And we actually handcrafted a lot of stuff. Like we broke a bunch of mirrors and we did a whole room mirrored. It's very pretty. And none of us got cut.
Wait, you broke a bunch of
Yeah,
mirrors?
we would put like a towel over like big shards of mirrors and then just like smash it with a hammer in different ways and then puzzle piece it onto the wall and fireplace, which is pretty cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really picture it. But
You're gonna have to come over and
really
see it.
cool. That sounds really cool.
You can leave your house for me.
Yeah.
And only me.
Okay. sounds good. Favorite country you visited?
Ooh, I have not been able to see a bunch of countries yet, but I am seeing a lot of Europe this summer in July, which I'm excited about. I'm very a tropical person, so I'd say Mexico, Bahamas, these kind of islandy places. That's my vibe.
Oh, have you been to Japan?
No, not yet. I want to so bad.
Dani!
Have you?
I just got back.
Oh,
I just
lucky. How was it?
When I first went there 5 years ago, my fiance took me and I was like, holy culture shock.
Yeah.
And I'm Korean, and I grew up in a very Korean household. So, I mean, I don't know if you know about Koreans not liking Japanese people very much.
Oh no, I didn't know this.
Oh, but my mom was pissed when I
Yeah?
first went to Japan. But then, like, after we overcame that, but like,
Aw.
wow, Japan is amazing.
Yes.
The food is amazing. The culture is amazing. I love everything about. I cannot believe you have not been there yet.
I know, not yet, but
Why not?
I'm going at some point.
When?
I mean, that's a good question. I'm not even seeing Europe until this year, and I've said that forever that I wanted to do that. But Japan has been on my list since I was a teenager. I really cannot wait to go. I'd love to go there and play a show. I'm best at traveling when I have to go do work because it actually gets me out of my house. I'm like, yeah, I have to show up.
Have to go
I
to
know, but I do follow this Instagram account, and she lives in Japan, and she talks about all the little things that we don't know about it, like how you can leave your laptop just out in a cafe.
So safe.
So safe, and
So
how
safe.
it's not cool to drink or eat food on the streets. So if you do, people will be looking at you like, what are you doing? Because it's so clean.
Yeah.
I love that.
How did you first get introduced to producing music?
I was a Raver first, so that's how I
Yes.
fell in love with the music and
You went to Hard Summer
the scene.
first?
Yes, I did. That was my
Yeah.
first festival. And I snuck out for that one. My mom was calling me. She was upset. She didn't know where I was. I was like, I don't care. This is my moment. And thank God I did, because it changed my life forever. You know? But yeah, loved raving, loved the music, started DJing out of curiosity, because I remember just looking up at the stage at one of the festivals and being like, wait a second, it feels amazing down here, but what does it feel like up there?
Yeah.
And I also have loved music my entire life. I just thought that you had to like be born with some special gift, or like start when you're a child to actually do it. And one day I just got the balls, I guess, to actually do it and focus on it. And thank God for YouTube, because it taught me everything.
Oh, okay. So YouTube's the one that kind of taught you everything. Did
Yeah.
you just buy like CDJs and you're just like,
I
just
had-
get into it?
Yeah, there was like this, I think it was like an XCR, I forget what it's called, but it's like a smaller one-piece board. So I started practicing on that. And I remember when I went onto like actual CDJs for the first show, I was like, oh crap, what the heck? And also for my first show, I played for 4 hours, which was quite a way to start
Wait,
DJing.
what?
Yeah.
Why was it 4 hours?
I don't know,
What
man.
event was this?
It was actually,
A
it was
4-hour set?
Yeah. Well, okay, so it was BeautyCon. So I was DJing like this whole like section of the place.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, I remember going back because it was my first show and I was so excited, but we go back to the hotel and my best friend there and my sister are there because they came to support me. And they're like, what should we play? What should we do? And I was just like, nothing. Please don't play any music. Like, I'd never felt that way before. I was like, I can't hear another song right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into, after you learned how to DJ and
Yeah.
everything like that, how'd you learn how to produce music?
YouTube, yeah. Just kept trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. Ableton.
Ableton?
Yeah.
Like, you just started watching YouTube videos?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. You first need to learn where everything is. That was like the biggest mind fuck. But also I taught myself how to graphic design when I was a teenager. So I've been using Photoshop my whole life. And while the hot cues are different, the mindset is kind of similar. So I was able to take that mindset and kind of rework it to like these new hot cues and this new format. And I think that helped me with the technicality side a little bit when I was first starting. But yeah, I didn't know anything. I didn't know what the instruments were called. I didn't know what made a genre, and I just kept researching forever.
How long did you work or start learning how to produce music and get confident with it?
Oh man, girl, that takes forever, man. I mean, I think I would say I'm definitely a lot more confident than I was back then. But even that, it's like, you have like these questions above you and you keep kind of just like going up and like learning things. And like now you have a new set of questions or a new set of things that you have to learn that's kind of holding you back right now. So you get like this confidence in what you know, and then you're like, oh crap, I need this next piece and then this next piece. And so yes, it takes a really, really long time to get confident in your abilities. And just, I don't think it ever just like turns on. And I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. It's something I had to learn. It's something that I have to like change that narrative in my head that I'm not good enough, you know? And just kind of take all that pressure off of it.
Yeah. What's the best piece of music production advice that you've ever received or learned yourself? Like whether it's cleaning up vocals, like trying to figure out, you know, when you hear a song and you're like, why is it so muddy?
Oh, yeah. No,
like,
totally.
How do you figure out which part is the one you need to adjust? Like those things.
Yeah. I mean, well, that gets more into like technicality, and I think anybody can learn that. And by training your ear over time, you're able to actually decipher those things. Like, there's ear training things for the computer where it's like these little games, and it'll be for mixing. And so it'll play a sound and be like, what hertz was this within the range of? So you know, like EQing wise and etc. So there's definitely a lot of ways to learn that. But I think that the best piece of advice that has helped me recently is I started reading the book by Rick Rubin, The Creative Act, Creative Way of Being, something like that. And reading this book and hearing this man's mind, not only is Rick Rubin one of the most legendary producers of all time and a huge inspiration, been killing it across all the genres, he has enough experience to like be able to tell you, like, pull that back, pull all of that pressure you have on yourself back. He keeps saying, like, go back to like a childlike creativity. And another thing that he says is like, if you were a painter and you went to a museum and you wanted to be a painter, you'd see that most of them are on canvases. But if you went home and you opened up a canvas and you started painting, you've already boxed in where your creativity can go to this format. And so it's kind of been changing my mind recently in a musical aspect because there's so many rules. And you gotta learn the rules to know when to break them. But at points, that can hold you back because you're like, well, dubstep is only this and it can only be that. And yeah, now I'm breaking free, from all these rules, and I'm just testing and having fun.
What's like a big rule that you like breaking? Like these rules you're referring to?
It could be anything from like a typical drum pattern in dubstep, or changing out the snare that has the same type of oomph or quality to it, but now it's a whole nother sound. It could be now mixing together another genre into it. I'm really going for all the things. I'm like just puzzle piecing things together that have inspired me and working them in and just doing my own thing. Yeah.
How would your friends describe you?
That's a good question. I think only they could answer, but I've definitely heard little rainbow fairy alien child, very positive.
Yeah, I see this. How would your siblings describe you?
Well, I guess it depends on who you ask, because my brother is quite a sarcastic person.
He's an MMA fighter.
He is, yes.
He still does that?
Yes, he does, yeah.
Oh my
he trains all the time. Yeah, that's totally wild. Watching him play was just like, because I'm the least aggressive person. I don't want to fight, okay?
Yeah.
So watching him in this ring give a punch, I'm like, yeah! He takes a punch, I'm like, no!
Yeah.
It's this funny little emotional back and forth. But yeah, I feel like he'd have a sarcastic answer. I feel like my sisters would be a lot more loving.
Yeah. Wait, you started a podcast too.
I did, yeah.
How
me
is
and my
that going?
sister.
Yeah.
It's going great. We're having so much fun with it. We do a live radio show on the app AMP, which is a parent company to Amazon Music. And it's really cool because the app gives this like sense of community. Like when you listen to a podcast, you might think to yourself, oh, I relate to that, but you can't really say that or interject in any way. And with this app, not only can people call in, but they can chat during it.
Wait,
so
what?
yeah, so it influences stories. They say like how they feel about that. We're able to like say their name. There's just like all these cool, very connective pieces about it, which I like.
What made you want to start a podcast?
Ego. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, me and my sister, we have like the same brain, and we always have these philosophical, diving deep into emotional conversations. Like we're always just talking about stuff like that. So for years, we've been like, we should start a podcast. We should just let all this information out there and just let it find its way.
That's
and
cool.
now here we are, years later.
Wow. Did you run into any challenges doing a podcast?
I actually thought I was going to be way more challenged by it because I spent the last couple of years really with headphones on looking at my computer by myself in my room. So I thought I was going to be a little bit worse at keeping conversation and being on point like that. But it comes really easy to us.
Wait, I don't think that's like
Thanks.
the last thing.
The narratives you tell yourself out of fear. It's like, oh no, can I do this? Oh,
I tell me, I get scared about that all of the
Totally.
time. Yeah.
But you got to work past it, people. And you just got to do it because you're learning every single day anyway. Nobody knows what they're doing. So just go do it.
That's true. What's the biggest lesson you learned in the music industry?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know the biggest lesson that I've learned. I would say that I'm learning all the time. And when I first started music, what I thought it was totally different than like how it actually works. And it's pretty cool learning all that knowledge, but also being in a time where, you know, people always talk about genres like, oh, is it capping out here? Is this like the end of it? Is it going to be a new trend, this and that? Like electronic music across the board, we are literally seeing the beginning of it. Like literally right now. So it's really cool to watch TikTok change things, Spotify change things, like all of these different companies coming in and kind of influencing music and giving us different creative outlets on. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting time and it's changing right before our eyes. So who the frick knows?
How do you think you've grown as a person since you first started?
In so many ways. Oh yeah, especially
you answered
COVID.
this question in 2018 too.
I did?
Yeah.
How I changed in so many ways. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I look back to even who I was in November and it's like, while Dani's always been here and I've always been kind of the same person, my mind is always evolving and I'm always trying to be better and be a better person, you know? So it's changing all the time. And COVID, I don't even know how to describe this, like the changes that happened within me, like being taken out of the world for 2 years, having
2 years.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, just being taken out of everything you know and then having to dive deep and then evolve with it and get control of yourself and your emotions and your mind and all these things. It's I'm very different from 2018, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you started talking about your caterpillar tattoo.
Oh yay, now I finally got the butterfly.
She got the butterfly.
Yeah.
I was about to ask, did you end up getting a butterfly tattoo?
I did. Yeah, and I had to put them next to each other so you could see it. Yeah. The metamorphosis.
Kind of to branch off on that, what's a piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
Oh, I would give so much advice to myself.
Like
but
what?
one of them being the main thing is, especially as a child, you want to grow up so quickly. You want to be an adult. You think everybody knows what they're doing and you just like take everything as if that's like, I don't know, the way it is. And it's not the way it is, man. It's however you want it to be. And to stop putting so much pressure on yourself to know how to live and what to do today. Like, we're always growing. And even this interview right now, come back to me in 5 years, oh, new person, you know? So stop putting pressure on yourself. Yeah, I mean, strive for things. Don't get me wrong, be ambitious, but like, don't hold yourself back because of the pressures that you have to do something by a certain age or that you've already, you know, missed the mark or like, you know, I learned how to start doing this at like 24, 25. That's crazy. It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really start to have, like kind of like going back to, you know how we're talking about, you know, like changing the mindset to more positive and all that other stuff. I didn't even get that positive outlook on life until 27. That was like literally 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy how
It is crazy.
just time changes the way you think about life and
Yep. And also
people around you.
exactly.
Too. I think LA, like really.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Being open to.
Yeah, I don't even have to like finish that sentence.
No, I totally
like,
get
yeah,
you.
I totally, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Definitely,
For sure.
definitely move around, meet new friends, try new hobbies. I mean, even like you go out on a date and you go see a new place you've never seen before, try new things. So, you know, you don't need a date to do those things, but go out, meet new people. It will evolve you in so many ways. You'll learn so much information. It's so cool.
What is the key to happiness?
Your mind, perspective. And it's not like happiness. You just get it one day and you're like, wow, I'm happy. And then it just stays like that forever. Like the best and worst thing that has ever happened to you probably hasn't even happened yet, which is both a positive and a negative. But I see it as a positive because it's just all these endless possibilities, you know? So to be happy, I had to start with counting the things I was grateful for. And even though it wasn't a lot at the time, you know what you do have? We're able to walk around, we're able to breathe, we get to see a new day. I can see, I can hear, I can feel. I go out with my friends, that's something to be grateful for. I just laughed, I had a good time. And slowly that changes. Not every day are you the happiest person. Sometimes people are like, how are you doing? Like, not good today. Not good, I feel like Grumpy Cat, to be honest. But I'm still generally a happy person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what emotion do you feel the most, you think? If you had to put it
Happiness. No. It depends. It really depends. I feel like, I don't know if you guys believe in all this stuff. I don't know too much about it, but there were a lot of retrogrades recently and a lunar eclipse, and everybody around me, including myself, felt like our lives are on fire, emotionally, introspectively. And when that happens, I kind of feel gray or like brown, like all the colors mixed together. And when I'm clear-headed, I feel like all the colors have separation. And so recently, not right now, but I felt a lot of that I can't really tell how I feel. And I'm feeling better now.
Dani was talking about how you've seen
UFOs.
UFOs.
Yep. Believe what you want, okay? This is my real life. This is my real experience. And luckily, most of my experiences that have been like weird, you can't explain them, have been with my family. So they are there to be like, oh yeah, that was it. Okay. But one of the craziest ones was during the day, which is so rare. And we're on our way to Disneyland. It's me, my boyfriend at the time, my sister, and my mom. And just middle of the day, I mean, right off the freeway, this big round one. And it looked like something from the 60s, you know, like 60s science fiction. So if you're thinking about aliens, you would think it's gonna be like modern and sleek and this and that. So I kind of wonder if the army base over there was like reverse engineering it, because this thing was so old, but it was fucking round. There were no propellers and it was middle of the sky just hanging out there for a good couple minutes. And yes, you wonder, did I take a video? No, I did not, because it is so shocking every time that you're just like, and then it's gone and you're like, what the fuck, you know? It's crazy.
I don't even know what my follow-up question would be to that.
Well, you know what?
It's like, how big was it? How big
God,
did it take
I know.
up the sky? Like,
Well, no, it didn't take up the whole sky. I mean, it was this big round ball, but it was massive, and it just was like floating right there off to the side above the freeway, like a little bit outside of it. Clear as day, all the detail in it, and we were just like, what the fuck?
So it was there for how long?
I don't know. It could have been a couple minutes.
Dude,
it could have been a minute.
That's
Like,
insane.
we're just like, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about the other ones. Just
Okay.
out of curiosity. Just like, this is great, because I've never, so people have talked to me about their ghost experiences
Oh,
and
yep.
everything, but never UFOs.
Yeah, it's always fun to find somebody who else has been through it, because then like they finally are like, yes, you get it. And I'm like, yeah, let's switch stories right now.
Whoa.
The first one was the gnarliest, because we were in the middle, this was when my dad was still alive. We were all living in Florida, and we lived on, a lot of Florida communities have like this man-made lake in the middle of it, and all the houses go around it.
Yeah.
So we were in the middle of a pretty decent hurricane, and for the first time I also got to witness the eye of the storm over the lake, which is a crazy visual. So we're all looking outside, we're just like, wow, that's so insane. And out of nowhere, and you know, like the sky is all white because of the clouds, it's so thick. Out of nowhere, red, blue, green takes up the whole sky. You can't see the craft, but you can see these lights, boom, 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 doing this little pattern. And so we're obviously freaking out. We had like a little tape recorder at the time, which also when we tried to play the footage back, it was broken. Fucked up the footage, so that's freaking weird. So my dad now, zombie guy, is so scared. My mom's scared, and we're so fascinated as kids. We're like, whoa. My dad and my mom are like, all right, that's it. We're all sleeping together. You're all coming into our room. We're gonna sleep together. So we slept on the floor and they slept in their bed. But before we went to bed, we could see out the window, and because we know our neighborhood, we would know if there's like poles there or anything. The sky has cleared and it's dark, and you just see these red lights, boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 doing like a little pattern in a saucer shape. And the next day to make sure, there was nothing there except for that. And you just see red light, red light, red light, brrr, doing little patterns back and forth. It was crazy. Yeah.
Dude, you must be connected in some way with the UFO universe.
I could hope so, but at
like
the same time, how scary would that be? Could you imagine seeing a real alien? Like the texture on its skin, you would freak the fuck out. Like you would have a heart attack. You'd be, it'd be so scary.
Do you think aliens are living among us?
I mean, there's enough conspiracies and people's stories to say that they are. I mean, why not?
Yeah, right? Like what if they shapeshift? I mean, do you think that's
and what
possible?
if there's and what if there's like if there's similar climate, like temperatures and gravity, isn't it possible that somewhere else they do look like us? Kind of?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit different, but
I mean, we're not the only ones in the entire universe.
that look like bipedal and stuff.
Right?
Yeah, no freaking way. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we're not that special.
I did have a horrific dream one time, and it scared the crap out of me because it felt so real. It was one of those dreams where you wake up in your room so you think it's reality. And I walk to my bathroom and I get in the shower and I'm showering, and all of a sudden the walls one by one fall around me and I'm on a ship. And I can see all the detail of the ship, and I'm just in the shower and I was just like, ah! When I woke up, I was just like, oh my God. Like I would be terrified. Like they're cool from afar, but like I don't know about that.
You have some like the imagination.
I know.
Or like your dreams.
It's true.
Mine is just like, I have like a nightmare that, like my fiance just like cheated on me or something.
Oh, that's the worst because it plays on your emotions.
It really does. Well, I don't know. I just like have that random one sometimes, or like I'm just lonely and like no one,
Yeah.
like those. But like the detailed ones, I never.
The detailed are freaky for sure because you also don't remember something.
Out.
Oh, I get ones where like I feel like my jaw's like stuck together, like they've like crisscrossed, and like it feels like they're gonna break, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, my teeth are there.
Yeah. Like
what's up with that?
So I heard, because there was one period in my life where I would always have nightmares of just my teeth, just like I would just close it and then all of them would just like come out. And I'm
Not
like
cool.
just like looking at them.
No.
But apparently it's just when you're really stressed.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Because you're also probably grinding in the middle of the night from the stress.
Oh,
You're
yeah, I
having-
do. I went to the dentist and they told me I need to wear a mouth guard now.
No.
Because I grind my
mouth
teeth at
guard.
night. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
Dreams are wild. I actually, whenever I'm having stress dreams, there's always someone chasing me. And my thing, once I realize I'm in a dream, is I can fly away. So like I'll just jump off of things and just start flapping my wings and just get the fuck out of there. Away from the bad guys.
Yeah. Have you ever skydived?
No, not yet. I want to though.
Whoa.
Have you?
Yes.
Ah!
It's amazing.
Oh, I bet.
I think.
And you're sitting on the edge of the plane like, I shouldn't have done this. This was a terrible decision.
Yeah, that's the scariest part about
sure.
to jump, and then that's it. And then
that's it.
And then
Maybe.
And then you're just flying out, and you're like, I mean, at this point, you just have to accept
Oh,
potential
for
death,
sure.
you know?
Yeah, and you're probably your body's in shock, so you're just like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, okay, I think I'm good.
That's
you
cool.
know?
That's cool. I could do that.
Cool. That's good. Who's your biggest inspiration musically, and just personally? You can't say Skrillex.
Because I've already said it.
Well, you said it in the previous interview.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the OG for me. That's what I fell in love with electronic music. But right now it's Rick Rubin. This man has touched every genre from the 80s, like rock, hip hop, pop. In his mind, he's so spiritual and interesting. And I think he's my biggest inspiration right now. To be a Rick Rubin Be great.
There are a lot of producers.
Yes.
You know, there are a lot of music coming out these days. What's your advice to someone that's just trying to get into music and trying to, you know, make this into a career?
That always depends on where you're starting, but if you're starting at the very beginning, I would say that A, you're gonna learn it all along the way. B, friends that are also in the industry help you learn a lot. But also I think you might start off with, oh, I love house music, or I love dubstep, or I love pop rock, or whatever. And that's cool. You should try it, but also try the other genres, because you're gonna learn so many different ways for your mind to work and problem solve. / you can then cross genre things, because you're like, oh, I really like the rhythm from this, or I really like the drums that are usually in this, and just start mixing things together. And I also feel like I held myself back for a while, only trying to learn one genre because that's the genre I loved. And the second I started just trying other things, I was just like, oh, wow, this is so exciting. Yeah.
How do you deal with writer's block?
That is a good question.
Do you bump into that a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot, but time to time. Yeah, especially during COVID, there was a period where I just felt like so lost. Like, what am I doing? I can't even help anybody. Like, I'm just out here learning music. I'm helpless. But then I also changed that perspective a little bit, because music is what got me through all of the hardest times in my life. So, you know, we do something out here, okay? We take you out of the bullshit.
But seriously though, I didn't know how much I loved music until I started having like music producer friends.
Yeah.
And like seeing how they like talk about music
Oh,
and
it's
everything.
so fascinating.
There's like it's a whole new
Oh, absolutely. And I
really
get so
is.
excited all the time when I learn new information, because I'm like, oh,
People-
that's how you do that? That's awesome.
We're listening to a 2 to 4 minute song, but people are dedicating
Oh, yeah.
like maybe years on
Yeah.
this one track.
Yep, that's one of
But
the
people
things.
don't even realize
Oh,
it.
no, not at all.
Yeah. And that's what blows my mind, and that's why I appreciate music producers so much, is because they go into this knowing that people don't know how much effort goes into making music.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean?
definitely nobody gets it unless you actually make
People
the
just think
music,
it's just a
but
person that just
it's
hops
like, beep,
around
beep,
on
beep,
the
beep, beep.
hops
Yeah.
around at a music festival.
Oh,
at a show, at a
totally,
club.
totally.
But there's so much more to it. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I
so
appreciate it
much.
too, and it's such a, like an interesting thing to learn. Like when you find something that you love, you really get excited learning about it, or breaking things down, or having people talk about what might sound boring to most people, and I'm just sitting there like a nerd, just like, yeah, tell me more. The writer's block thing,
Yeah.
I think that's different for everybody. One of the things that Rick Rubin in his book, because I'm so obsessed with this book right now, I'm in the middle of it, so that's why it's like taken over my whole brain. But it's changing the normal format. So say you always use these drums and you always use these kinds of synths, change your palette. Okay, now you usually make this BPM, well, change the BPM. And you have to just kind of keep experimenting and almost throwing shit at the wall until you're like, I'm out of it and I'm having fun again and this is awesome and this took me to a whole new place. Because literally every time you tap into your DAW, every single day you go to make music or write a song, you're tapping into another energy. Who you were yesterday is not who you are today when you're making music. And that's why it's important to check in every day and just catch these different creative waves.
I love how much you love this
love
stuff.
I love it.
I could just tell.
Thanks. Yeah.
Aw.
It's awesome doing what you love, man.
Yeah, and it's so cool that you got into, music production out of all, and not just DJing either.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh yeah, like it looks fun. It's like, it's fun here, but I wonder what it's like there. And
Yeah.
then there are people that just DJ.
Right, and
like,
it's actually really fun going back and forth, because when I'm on tour, I miss making music, but I'm so happy to be on tour. And then I get off tour and I'm so excited to be making music again, but then when I'm only in the studio, I'm like, oh, I miss being out on the road. So it is really nice being able to go back and forth and have two different outlets, even though they're the same, because you're a DJ producer, they are two different creative outlets, and it's very cool.
What do you think are your top 3 goals on your bucket list right now? It could be like as a musician, personally.
Yeah. I think I have a lot of goals. Of course, for Comet, it takes up my whole world, my everything. I'm definitely in a very collaborative state right now, so I want to keep mixing genres with people and keep working with new people and just finding new magic that comes out of it, like a cocktail, you know. It's different every time with a different person. But something that came to me in a dream when I was in COVID, and it was so clear, and it's just kind of stuck with me. And recently I've decided, like, yeah, I'm gonna make that a goal. I had this dream that I owned a hotel in Santa Monica. And so for nobody who's been to Santa Monica, California, it's a very clean, bougie, classy, whatever, you know. And there's no cool young place like in Ibiza or in Miami for young people to just like go and like have a great Sunday by the pool, you know. So I want to make this modern, but also Tulum-esque, Ibiza-esque, nature-esque hotel where it's mainly for young people. Like, you know, you don't want to stay there because you don't want to hear loud music all night. You know, that kind of thing. Like, I want it to be a party hotel for young people in Santa Monica. So that's on the goals list. We'll see. We'll see when it happens.
What?
Having a vegan restaurant was on my goals list forever, and I thought that was like a future thing, and then just ended up happening. So who knows? Who knows when I'll own a hotel?
Dude, that is so cool. First of all, how the hell are you getting these dreams randomly? Like these, like
the
so
universe,
like such specific dreams. I don't have dreams like that. I need to.
Yes.
I feel like it would push me to do other things.
You could try starting. I know some people start like dream journaling and stuff, and that starts connecting, I don't know, you to your dreams.
I always tell myself I'm gonna wake up.
I know, but then also you're tired. It's dark. Like
I never remember.
No.
I never remember my dreams.
I feel like a voice note would be easier. You know, like half awake, just like.
And then my fiance is like, what are you?
He's waking up to like your dream. And then there was a spider with lots of cotton candy, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I don't know about the voice. He's gonna think I'm crazy.
Oh yeah, he's gonna think you're possessed.
What's another goal?
Another goal.
Is there a place that you've always wanted to play? Festival that you've always wanted to play?
Of course, yeah. I mean, obviously, I want to go to Tokyo so bad, to both go there and also to play there. I think it would be just an incredible experience. You know, Tomorrowland would also be sick, just because I feel like that, at least for a festival, that's a culture shock. I mean,
yeah.
Whoa, how different that is. So that'd be so cool.
I've only seen videos and it looks epic.
Yeah, have you seen the aerial shots? I mean, it is so massive. And then you see all the flags from all the different countries. It's so cool.
It's like EDC on steroids.
Oh, yeah, with a European flavor. I freaking love it. Ooh, also Electric Forest. I feel like that's going to be my favorite festival.
Yeah.
I love the vibes. I love how creative they are.
Electric Forest?
Yeah.
I've heard only amazing things about Electric Forest. I've never gone there. I have to. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I mean, God, I'm sure...
I feel like you're such a
much
positive
advice.
person that you give really good advice.
Thanks. To the people closest to me, I'd say I do. Yeah. I'm like, I get you, baby. I feel you. I
feel like you're like brutally honest, but also like very wise.
Oh, thank you. I walk a line. Me and my sister were just talking about this because she brought that up about me, and she was like, you give advice in such a way that's like easy to take it. Like it doesn't feel like you're like kind of pointing a finger at someone. You also listen. And I was just like, thank you. I tried really fucking hard. I overthink it quite a lot, actually, because I'm like, you need to hear this, but like, how do we say this real quick?
Yeah, that's a skill.
It's is
a life skill that a lot of people don't know how to approach.
No,
things.
Some people do not know at all.
Yeah,
they just
they just like say it like totally. I do that all the time. I'm like, wait, that's not how.
That came out kind of wrong.
Yeah, that's not how I wanted you to feel. Or, that's so hard to learn.
And you know what's cool about language and also art is that you can tell somebody, oh, this just happened to me. And the way that they will imagine it is probably very different from the way that it actually happened. And so we say things all the time and we don't really understand how people perceive what we just said, because that sentence to us equals this, but to them pulled all these different things from their childhood and made a whole new story. And so same thing with art. You can write a love song, you could write a this song, and the way people take it in and what it means to them is so different. So yeah, your art is your art, but it's really their art. It's not for you, it's for them.
Last question. What's next for Comet?
Whee! Hi guys, I'm Comet, if you didn't know from this interview. So I actually just released my first EP.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've only made singles before, so it was really, really cool to make like a full project where the vibes just kind of like went from one thing to the next, and for it to be cohesive. And so yeah, I'm really, really happy about that. All the visuals, if you guys haven't seen the music videos, yeah, a lot of detail, a lot of work went into that, so please watch it and enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah, so right now I'm back in the studio. Before I start touring again in the fall with shows. I get to see Europe in July, which I'm really, really excited about.
I'm excited for you.
So many places. I'm very, very excited about this. So yeah, so making music right now.
Nice.
Yay.
Album? What's your take on
not
albums
quite
and
yet.
singles and
So that's
EPs?
the thing. We live in a time where streaming music, like when you made an album, you bought a CD. And to get your money's worth, you listen to that whole damn CD.
Yeah.
Now, if you make an album, people will see that the numbers go from like most listened to least listenable or listened to. And that kind of sucks because when you make an album, you want like the whole entire
story.
Exactly. It's an evolution. So yeah, that would be a little bit upsetting to see all that work and be like, nobody even got it. So yeah, I'm in single mode right now.
I see.
Yeah.
Dani, you're doing amazing things. You're an amazing person.
Thanks.
I love your positive energy.
Love your energy.
It
Thanks
was
for
really
having
nice.
me.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Love you, Sidewalk Talks.
Bye.
Woo!